Ruth McCracken and Trisetta Washington, two top-notch career and business strategists, are here to help you defy standards and break boundaries. Join them as they share powerful insights that have already impacted thousands of people and will have a major impact on your career, life balance, and business.
Great day, everyone. Hello, come on in as we are here just wanting to gravitate many of you all in our community as we are going to go ahead and unleash some more goodies to you all as we are now doing the Breaking Boundaries. Go ahead and grab some of your friends. And I'm on here. And hey, Trisetta, let me not negate you. Hey, my beloved friend, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's so good to see you.
Yes, and yes, it's always a joy to see you, my friend. I think we got a lot to unpack as we've been doing so throughout the month already. We're now in part 4, my friend, right? But before we do that, go ahead and don't come and join this party by yourself. Let's go ahead. It's our mission and it's our intention that we go ahead and elevate and really interrupt the algorithms and all the platforms. I don't know if you're going to be seeing this live or if you're going to be seeing this recording, but I definitely want you to be able to grab your favorite beverage, grab a pen and notepad, because what we're going to talk about today is unleashing, yes, your authenticity. Now, this is going to be where we're going to talk about, many of the people that's listening, I'm sure you're going to be wondering, what are the key to success in work and life? And we're going to break it down in a way that we're going to talk about resilience. Who's with me? Go ahead and let us know in the comments. Go ahead and share us your love. Yes. Let us know that. Are you familiar with that term? Even for me and even growing up, when we hear about other different personality traits and different challenges, resilience, let me kind of put this picture so that way you can walk in here and kind of be in the seat in the room with us as to what exactly we're about to unfold. Is that all right? Resilience is the ability to adapt and recover from hefty challenges or even maybe light challenges. To you, it may be something huge. Someone else might look at it as a major setback, and it may be an adversity. But it's basically how you handle certain, trials and obstacles, and how do you overcome it? Do you overcome it by yourself? Do you see yourself maybe moving forward no matter what by connecting with others to say, I see you, I got you. You don't have to do this alone. God did not put us on this planet Earth for you to overcome all of this interesting time that we in by ourselves. Yes or yes. Let us know that definitely you can relate. Even in your personal life, resilience is essential for dealing with what? Ups and downs that life brings all together. And sometimes we put this smiley face on, and Trisetta, you can definitely chime in, where you may be feeling so deep in a rut. And is it really fair to you if someone comes to you and say, hey, how's it going? And allowing yourself to cope through the stress, suppress the trauma. And even though you're trying to change, you're trying to maintain a mental psyche, but your well-being can be off balance, right? Give yourself permission to say, you know what, I'm talking to you. I'm not alone on this, all right? I know I can't be alone. Even on a professional life, your professional life in marriage with resilience is equally important. It matters. It matters that you're aligning yourself with resilience. What is it that you can do as an individual that can highlight you to be better, to be more equipped, and handle the demands in a fast-paced reality? If you and I know, if you're carrying multiple hats, oh my gosh, you could be that mom, that leader, you're part of an executive, you're running your own business, and then having to sit back and say, how am I going through all this and not finding any way to just say, oh my gosh, it has to be that I have to give credit to my higher self, which I like to call God. Because sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I'm here again. Like, wow. And knowing that you're 24 hours, I've heard it from a wise person, how they were brought up. And it definitely hold dear to them, where when they look at their day, they break it down into 888. I don't know if you ever heard that term before, but 888 basically the 24 hours in your day, right? Where the first 8 hours, maybe perhaps you're, obviously we say it's for work, your 9 to 5, if you, for many of those who may be able to relate to that, or that's your business. The other 8 hours is maybe around your family, your loved ones, your playtime, and then of course 8 hours to go ahead and slumber, go to rest and be able to get some sleep. And sometimes it can be off balance. Let's just be true, where it may not be to where you're resilient. And let me know, Trissetta, if you're thinking, sometimes you may borrow from your work time to take a nap throughout in the middle of the day, right? Or you may borrow from your 8 hours when it comes to your work, and you need to have some playtime. You got to find a way to keep that holistically balanced. And if that is you, we're going to talk about what the role of authentic identity in building resilience, and I'm going to go ahead and allow you, Trissetta, to kind of build that bridge as to how can someone actually see that in a way where they can utilize their authentic identity in building resilience.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly or specifically, we are really focused on, with these live streams, targeting leaders, right? And as a leader, it's really important for you to develop your resilient muscle in alignment with who you truly are. So this whole series, we've been talking about authenticity and really digging deep into who you are, what your values are, and whatnot. And authentic identity really plays this crucial role in building resilience, because when you are true to who you are, when you are embracing your authentic identity, which really refers to just understanding yourself, your values, your beliefs, and when you have that clear understanding, you're much better able to navigate all of the different challenges, all of the different setbacks and adversity that comes into your life, whether it's your personal life or your professional life, by relying on your core values and your beliefs. If you don't know what those are, then you don't, because that's really your foundation, right? And if you don't know what your foundational beliefs are or your foundational values are, then what do you have to stand on when difficult situations come your way? Right? You're much more likely to respond in a way that's consistent with your values and belief when you have a strong sense of your authentic identity. And additionally, having that strong sense of authentic identity can help you to build meaningful connections with other people, which is essential for building resilience, because, it's challenging enough on your own to overcome things, but we are so much stronger when we can rely on other people. And if you are really tapped into your authentic self or your authentic identity, then that's going to really help you to connect with other people who share like values, beliefs, and mindsets. And that's going to give you that emotional support that you need when you have difficult times come your way, which we all know, if you haven't experienced any to date, just keep on living, because they are sure to be coming at some point in life. It's just a fact of life, because life be lifing. But on the contrary, people who don't really understand who they are, they may tend to struggle to cope with the different adversities that come up in life, because they don't have that foundation to draw upon. And it can also be difficult for them to form those meaningful connections with other people, because when you don't know what your beliefs are, then how do you know who to align yourself with? So overall, really building and maintaining an authentic identity, because just as we've talked about over the last few weeks, it's going to be fluid, because we're constantly growing, we're constantly evolving, we're constantly changing as individuals. So not only do you need to build your authentic identity, but you need to maintain it. And that's really an important aspect for building resilience. And it enables you to really navigate those challenges and adversities in a way that's consistent with those values, beliefs, and mindsets, so that you can form those meaningful connections with other people. Oh, you're muted.
Can you all? Okay, yes.
Yes,
I was on a roll here because you
We're
mentioned
live.
something earlier. Yes. You mentioned something that really, I think that many people are probably thinking as well on how to be able to bridge this in. So that's why it brings us to our next topic as far as understanding your authentic identity. What does that mean truly? What is authentic identity? For one, you got to go deep. From what I personally been able to collect and through research, it's a deeper understanding of one's own thoughts, your feelings, and what inspires you, what motivates you, as well as what is the ability that you're looking to, press upon and do it in a way that is in full transparency. And it's also giving you the outlook on a social aspect and also on an interpersonal level, because you're wanting to be able to not appear to be fake. You want to genuinely connect, because humans do connect with people. You want to have a synergy. You want to be able to say that, man, you're talking to me. I can relate with what you're saying because it resonates with me. This can result in increasing what? That a lot of people that I talk to, as far as my clients, and which, by the way, if you all are just chiming in, I do want you all to believe, like, who are these amazing beings that come in? Let's go ahead and break. Is that all right? Let's go ahead and break and say, hey, if you're coming in, I am Ruth, and I am the founder of Ram International & Co. I help mid-level professionals and up who are basically looking to move from being unrecognized to standing out as a top authority, as a superstar, right? So that they can start attracting those ideal career roles their way effortlessly. Now, if that is you, because in considering that we're still in this very, what I like to call an eye-opening time, then go ahead and don't hesitate and go ahead and drop a note in the comments, or just message me directly, and I will reach out to you personally to see how we can maybe support you.
Absolutely.
And Trisetta, let's go ahead and let them know, who are you and what are you, do, and how you've been impactful in the realm of what we call the marketplace.
Absolutely. So I am Trisetta Linnell Washington, life balance and productivity coach, as well as the CEO of Profitable Productivity. And what my company or organization does is partner with ambitious women who are in leadership or are entrepreneurs and help them overcome burnout and overwhelm by using an approach that combines both time management strategies with intentional self-care practices. It's what I like to call balanced ambition. And I do this by drawing on my 25 plus years of experience. I know I don't look old enough to have that much years of experience, but I do, in operations management. And I provide really tailored solutions that help you to increase your productivity and create sustainable success, which empowers women to achieve their goals without sacrificing their health or their well-being. And if you'd like to learn more, go ahead, shoot me a message. I will be happy to chat with you and see how we can support you.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's just jump right back on in here, because again, back to exploring your authentic identity, we want to be able to share and break bread with you on what's the importance of knowing your values, knowing your strengths, and also your weakness. Because here's the truth. People can definitely relate with a lot of your weaknesses. Even for me, for example, I know coming up, as being raised by two immigrant family parents, and I struggled with the English language, and I made my parents, bless their heart, everything I would say sometimes would be backward in English, because French Creole is, when you're translating it, sometimes it's hard for you to, it's oftentimes come back into reverse. Even my husband, he tends to tell me, Ruth, you're talking backwards again. You're talking backwards again. So you may be able to say, which brings us to our segment on resilience. You perhaps can relate in facing certain challenges. How do you be able to face these adversities? How to maintain a positive attitude if you're maybe looked upon and you're in a difficult situation, but you want to be able to withstand and overcome, but still be full of integrity and still set boundaries, right? And still be able to leverage who you are in a way that it then shows the Christ or the energy or be whatever you want to say, your higher self, to be fully in alignment with that higher being of you. Start off with this. Practice gratitude. I cannot tell you how many times I sit and when I'm journaling, I'm writing down what I'm thankful for and how it appeases me, even when I don't feel like writing it, even though I may have had a not so good day, but I make it my best to write down my gratifications. Make it a habit of focusing on the positive, right? On the things that really brings you life, brings you joy. How many of you all can also relate and just letting us, because I'm pretty sure many people in the audience can say, even the small things matter. And this can help you, number one, shift how you're thinking today. Because as an old great ancient saying, whatsoever a man thinketh, yes, so is he. So you got to be able to shift from not thinking on focusing on negative, even thoughts, negative things. Maybe someone just threw you off when you were on the highway getting to work, and now you've lost your mojo, or you now needing to get back into being balanced. Stay optimistic would be my second way of facing and overcoming these challenges as you're going through the journey of resilience. Keep a hopeful outlook and remind yourself every day, every moment, maybe carve out 15 minutes of your day. These are areas that you can definitely get better at and increasing your discipline on lining yourself and getting closer and closer to your highest version of you. Finally, I would say well, not finally, but there's many other ways to do it. But this is another topic. And Tristetta, you're welcome to chime in. I'm thinking seek support. I cannot begin to tell you that when I talk to high performers and I'm explaining to them, it's like, Ruth, I haven't really thought about it. I'm just frustrated. They're going through their career journey, having to go through the job search, and they're just trying to keep a high momentum, keeping a positive attitude. You need to connect with supportive people. Can provide you emotional support and encouragement, maybe through your work-life balance, maybe having to seek and get elevated in your career, or perhaps maybe maintaining the role that you absolutely love, but you're finding yourself tilting more on working more. And then guess what? Your family is now paying the price for it because they're seeing less of you. What else can be definitely viable that we can share?
Yeah, of course, one of our favorite strategies. I feel like we talk about this every single episode, but practicing mindfulness, right? Doing things like meditation or deep breathing exercises can really help you to relieve stress and stay calm and keep you centered. Also, just take care of yourself, take care of you.
Yes.
Make sure, garbage in, garbage out. So you want to make sure that you're eating foods that fuel your body, not foods that fool your body.
100%. Yes.
Right. You want to exercise regularly, make sure that you're getting enough sleep so that you can be physically and mentally strong. I think we, especially as Americans, don't realize how impactful sleep is to our productivity and just to our mindset and how we manage different things. Because, if you're not getting enough sleep, you're just going to be a perpetual state of crankiness.
Oh my goodness.
No one wants to be around that.
I agree with you,
also, reframing your thoughts. Really,
and I think this is the kicker. This is the one where you're finding yourself with the rubbers, you're kicking the tire, because it's like, how do you reframe your thoughts when there's no wrong or right way? I do believe if you're angry, the question is, you have the right to feel that emotion, right?
Oh, absolutely.
The question is how long, right? How long are you going to stay angry?
Well, not only that, but challenge those thoughts, right? When you have negative thoughts coming in, ask yourself, is it really the way it seems? Because sometimes it's just about our perspective, and we only see in part. We don't see in whole. And so by trying to reframe things into a positive light, for example, when I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2014. And I knew once I got my treatment plan, I knew I kind of had a difficult road ahead. And I knew that I needed to do something to build my mindset. And so rather than allowing myself to get sucked into, oh, woe is me, and I've got this really hard road ahead of me, I decided to reframe that and say, okay, what can I do to help me have a positive mindset towards what is happening? And I decided to go ziplining as a way to overcome fear
Oh,
and
what
say,
a
if I
choice.
could do that, if I can overcome this, then I can overcome anything. So just really
Amen.
challenge those negative thoughts and try and find a way to reframe it in a positive light and focus on the solution. Don't get stuck dwelling on the problem and focusing on the problem, because what you focus on expands. You are essentially magnifying the problem. When you focus on finding a solution and taking action on it, then you are magnifying the solution. You are making it bigger than the problem. So those are just a few more ways that you can um, practice or put into practice
I
maintaining a
love
positive
it.
attitude so that in the face of some difficult or challenging situations.
And there's other means too. I'm certain that as we're continue to, going through, and we're halfway through the segment here, how are you managing or coping mechanisms, maybe discovering strategies for building resilience? Because this is something that you got to put into practice.
Oh,
This is something
absolutely.
you have to develop, and develop a support system. Do you have a blueprint in place? Do you surround yourself with people who can provide you direction on emotional support? I'm thinking about this Disney Pixar movie, as I'm thinking about developing, getting support systems, where Jamie Foxx was one of the main characters, the movie Soul. And there's a variety, there's a whole, I would call it a boot camp of other souls. They have all these emotions. There's obviously the intellect one, there's the one that's clumsy, there's the one that's just afraid, and there's the one that's bold. Where are you getting at? But they all, when they come together, they find some kind of synchronicity. They're able to find a synergy, and they're playful, they're happy, they're full of joy and bliss. That's the part of the development support system that I see, that you're part where you're not alone. You're feeling safe. You're feeling in a way where you're now able to dialogue and practice ways of, relying on not just outside of just your families and friends, but there's other source, perhaps like a therapist or a counselor, or someone that that you can be able to connect with and be able to open up and get started with your healing process. Yes. And then another way you can definitely be able to cope some of this mechanism is, what is that? Oh, I love this one. This was my favorite. Practicing self care. Oh my gosh. How many people can you maybe want to drag them by their tail and say, you got to take a break? You got to woosah. I don't,
I deal with that all the time because my clients are all, are highly ambitious. And so I'm always like, you got
yes.
to do something for you.
Right, right. And sometimes you find yourself on a tug of war.
Yes.
You're at the opposite end trying to bring them over to the light, drive them home, and say, hey, listen, there is life outside of work. There is life outside of your business, or perhaps whatever you're compassionate with. And then really want to balance it all together when it comes to your life, what you like to do for fun. Being mindfulness. I know we really pressed upon this because this is the new way of really embarking and being present. Another way is focusing. Focus on positive thinking. We talked about that already. We talked about how to challenge your negative thoughts. We talked about, really becoming aware of your thoughts, because that I think they talked about it, and it's now highly in the higher numbers, between 60 to 80,000 of words of throughout the day that we're constantly reminding ourselves in our memory bank. It's like a replay that's gone steroids. That's on steroids, where you're finding yourself just nitpicking on stuff that doesn't even matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't really even matter. So you want to be able to overcome that by what? Setting goals. Set some mini milestones, just some breadcrumbs on the way on how to set achievable goals. You may have some long-term goals, but we wanted to talk about how to become more consistent with your values, your beliefs, and work towards them. That's definitely 100%. And another way is how to practice problem solving. Sometimes we may find ourselves hung up on perhaps like for when I talk to my clients, they're like, Ruth, I'm not sure on how to really get myself to speak the narrative on my story when it comes to what have I achieved? What have I been able to accomplish within my career in a way that really has me standing out as a top authority? How many of you all can definitely say me too on that? Developing that is definitely takes time for you to really take your skills such as adaptability, flexibility as well, and perseverance that will help you, yes, help you navigate through challenges and adversity. Who's with me? And also develop resilience around what? You want to be able to seek help when necessary, when it's needed. Sometimes we got to get out ourselves. Sometimes when I do consults, they say, Ruth, I'm going to try it on my own for another 30 to 60 days. I say, okay. And then they call me back in a couple of weeks because they're now frustrated because they gave themselves the try, but they then went back to being self-sabotage. And I'm going to be the first to say, sometimes I find myself like, oh, no. We're going to go ahead and quiet the noise behind our head. Let's be, honest with ourselves. We're going to, like Tracetta said, identify it, be aware of that emotion or that thought and reframe it. Another way you want to be able to know for sure is don't hesitate to definitely come out of self is what I'm getting at. Get with a career coach or get with a productivity coach or get someone who has the expert and the credibility to help you move that needle forward. And yes, what else? I think we're now into our final segment and we're going to just hit you. We want to take this home for you all. And Tracetta, let them know what ways can authenticity and resilience and leadership work hand in hand.
Oh, absolutely. So, when you are true to your authentic self, it really can help you to lead with resilience. And there's several different ways where it kind of impacts you as a leader. Number one is self-awareness, right? When you know who you are, when you're in touch with the truth of who you are, you have a better understanding of what your strengths are.
Oh my gosh.
And your limitations, right? So when you are aware of those things, it's going to allow you to make better decisions. Yes. It's going to help you to set those realistic goals that Ruth mentioned just a moment ago and effectively manage your emotions and your reactions to challenges because you are aware of what is happening within you and recognizing that some of the things that you get, your triggers, right? It may not necessarily mean that the person or persons are intending things maliciously, but because of your own past traumas, your own past hurts, or your own life experiences, those are things that might be something that triggers you. And if you know that, then it can help you to manage your emotions better and you can respond to challenges as opposed to reacting to them. Because when we're reactionary, it just comes out of our gut, right? It just happens.
Right?
Like that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But then there's other time when you respond, that means you pause and you think about what happened and how you want to respond so that you are coming out of a place of calmness and rationality as opposed to that irrationality.
I can agree.
It can also help you to be more confident, right? When you know who you are, it can help you to develop that sense of confidence and that self-assuredness. And you don't really necessarily need to feel the need to conform to all those expectations that society puts on us or those social norms that are out there. You're free to be your own free agent and use your voice. There's so few people who are brave enough and willing enough to stand out from the crowd. We all want to feel like we belong. We all want to kind of feel like we fit in. And that's innate in us because we were, if we didn't fit in and we were out on the outskirts back in the day, then that could mean our life. We might not live very long.
It's like a do or die, right?
So that is a instinctual thing for us to desire to fit in. However, in this day and age, sometimes that conformity can place us in a position where, right, we're talking about leadership here. We're talking about being leaders and wanting to be promoted and get clients and get positions and whatnot. 100%. Blending in is not going to serve you.
I can agree with you more, my friend.
Yeah. You have to have the confidence to help you to be able to stand out from amongst the crowd, right? And really stand in that self-assuredness.
There's a lot here. Yeah. Let us know in the comments. I definitely want to I'm intrigued to know how has this been very helpful for you all. Oh, yes. And just deposit some of your thoughts, because I have a sense that you all are now getting a lot of light bulb moments. It's coming to where you're finding yourself centered and seeing that, oh man, this is the part that maybe that must have been the missing puzzle of the resilience in your leadership, in the resilience in your human part of you, and becoming more aware, because we've just unpacked quite a bit. We talked about what is, what is the resilience, and then what is the authentic identity, and how to be, what is the role in that, and how to build, and how to go ahead and start creating that building blocks around resilience. And most importantly, we talked about understanding your authentic identity, understanding who you are. That's basically what I gravitate from that, and formulating on how to even overcome some of those challenges when it comes to wanting to be more resilient and becoming more of that personality that's hidden behind the walls somewhere, and it's ready to get unleashed. And if that is you, you definitely want to be able to say, yes, I'm looking for support. Yes, I'm looking for ways to cope some of these mechanisms that we just shared with you all. And I would love to see how we can harness some strategies and building this way in a very holistic way. Then definitely get some support. Get someone that can see you and also have the experience, and they may have the certification or just have the way of connecting with you. But like, is there something about them connecting with you? Then don't do it alone. That's where we're getting at, my friend. And it's been a joy. How about you? I mean, this has been so impactful when we're talking about authenticity and resilient leadership. All of this matters. We want you to be able to take away. Matter of fact, you may want to go back and replay it and rewind it again, and maybe another time, and maybe go ahead and share with 3, 4 more, 5 more of your friends. And if you're finding this to be super impactful, giving you a self-elevation in not just in your career, but also in your mindset, and how to realign and have that balance in your productivity so you can get off the bench and not finding yourself falling back over and over again. Yes. So definitely let us know how this is definitely bridging the gap for you, and how you loving to see yourself connecting with us. Go ahead and follow us, hit like. Let's go ahead and elevate the algorithm, because it matters to myself and Trissetta that we're wanting to bridge this gap and building this community in a way that we are now in a corporate setting that we see ourselves. I see you, you see your self-awareness, you're growing and you're breaking boundaries unlimitedly. I do believe in that in 1,000% more. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Continue to stay connected. I love you all so very much. Until next time, my friends.
Join and subscribe with career strategist Ruth McCracken and business strategist Trissetta Washington to the Breaking Boundaries podcast each week. You too can experience the limitless potential of rewriting rules and creating an extraordinary future for yourself.